Huh? What is it, honey? Oh, we landed? Alright, I'm up. What time is it anyway? 3 a.m. Talk about an ill-timed flight. We traveled halfway across the country in a single night. I barely got any sleep. Then again, if we took off earlier, we wouldn't have time to explore that mall. So it is what it is, I guess. Just gotta deal with the consequences of lack of sleep. And jet lag. Yeah, let's grab our stuff and get off this plane. We need to find our truck. Wow. Oklahoma City looks amazing at night. It's definitely worthy of being the state capital. And to think, the El Reno tornado chose to spare this place on that fateful day. It truly is a miracle. I have the keys to our truck right here. Should be able to locate it by flashing the lights. There it is, right where we left it. Alright, let's crank the AC. It's a hot night. Before we head home, I want to grab some coffee. It's the crack of dawn, so I don't see any point in trying to get a few more winks when we get home. That'll throw off my sleep schedule. Oklahoma City has a number of gas stations that are always open, and I know they sell coffee. I'm desperate for a pick-me-up right now. I'm thinking 7-Eleven. They also have donuts if you want. Donuts and coffee, a classic combo. Remember a long time ago, you entered the living room and saw me watching Twister? And when I started talking about tornadoes, I mentioned something about how many people have died while storm chasing? I couldn't have been more wrong, actually. This is a situation where something sounds like it makes perfect sense, so I don't bother researching it. As it turns out, things don't always work out that way. I just assumed, of course many people have died while storm chasing, right? We get up close to tornadoes. It's super dangerous. But to my shock, and honestly great delight, the reality is that very few storm chasers have been killed on the job. Unfortunately, very few implies that the number isn't 0. From what I could gather, there's actually only been one tornado in history to take the lives of storm chasers. Yes, you heard that correctly. Just one. And it's a tornado that I've talked about a few times before. Hell, I just mentioned it a few minutes ago. El Reno. As long as I continue to breathe, you may never hear the end of the El Reno tornado. But seriously, there's more reasons why this tornado is so legendary besides just being gigantic. Tornadoes usually spawn from mesocyclones. These are huge rotating updrafts within supercell thunderstorms. The El Reno tornado basically was the mesocyclone. Okay, not literally, but it might as well have been. El Reno was a chaotic mess of a tornado, ugly and misshapen. Its form was so unstable and constantly fluctuated, and it contained many vortexes within its perpetually warping condensation funnel. This made it an unpredictable nightmare for storm chasers that were involved. And some of them, unfortunately, paid the ultimate price. There may have been other tornadoes to kill storm chasers, but whatever those were, there isn't enough media coverage to be conclusive about it. So as far as we're all aware, El Reno was the only tornado in history to cause the deaths of storm chasers on the job. And hopefully the last. Oh, we're here. That didn't take long. It's so great being back in Oklahoma after all this time. I got so used to seeing mountainous terrain that I almost forgot what the Great Plains of the Midwest looked like. So, do you want a coffee as well? I'm getting a large, and a glazed donut. Small and glazed. All right. Hey, good morning. Me and my spouse just got off a plane. Need to take a pit stop before going home. I'd like to order a large and small coffee with cream and sugar. And 2 glazed donuts, please. No rush. We have all day. Guess I'll check the weather while we wait. Ooh, that's interesting. Today we'll have partly cloudy skies, but tomorrow we're going to have severe thunderstorms, with a high chance for tornadoes. Oklahoma never disappoints. Spring may be the peak of tornadic weather in the Midwest, but summer is decent too. Conditions are still favorable. Oh, there's our order. Thanks a bunch. Have a good day. All right, here's yours, honey. Let's have a seat over here. Cream, sugar, stir it up, and... that hits the spot. The donut's good too. You know, there were some noteworthy tornadoes that happened very recently while we were in Vermont. I saw some YouTube videos of them. On June 5th, there was an EF2 near Morton, Texas. This tornado was a super dusty wedge. The amount of dirt and sand it picked up made it look absolutely filthy. Good thing it was mostly a rural tornado. Didn't do much damage. On June 20th, an EF3 touched down near Jamestown, North Dakota. It was very visually impressive. Had a firm condensation funnel, semi-rain wrapped, incredible wind field. And it was really foggy, which gave the environment a ghostly vibe. Just a really cool tornado. Did some severe damage, though, as EF3s usually do. On June 28th, there was another EF3 near Gary, South Dakota. Once again, very visually impressive. Had a good condensation funnel. It was a drill bit tornado, so the wind speed was heavily concentrated. It was also a funny tornado. At some point, it was wiggling like a spaghetti noodle. I wonder what we'll see out there tomorrow. Granted, severe thunderstorms don't guarantee any tornadoes, even in the Midwest. But the odds are in our favor at the very least. Don't take what I'm about to say too seriously, but I wonder if we could build our own Dominator. Reed Timmer is the person who invented it. He basically just took Ford F-350s and Chevy Tahoes and heavily modified them using armor plating, Lexan windows, and special features like deployable windskirts and ground-gripping spikes. The defensive mechanics of the Dominator work something like this. So of course you have the armor plating, very thick, sturdy, and durable. Even if a tornado slams the vehicle with heavy debris, it'll just shatter against it or bounce right off. Lexan windows have similar durability. They're made from polycarbonate, a thermoplastic that's virtually unbreakable and highly resistant to shattering. Of course, the Dominator needs a way to resist the wind itself so it doesn't get lofted. That's where the skirts and spikes come into play. The skirts close off wind from getting underneath the vehicle, and the spikes root it to the ground for even more stability. Unsurprisingly, when a vehicle is so heavily armored and wind-resistant, it's no wonder why the Dominator is designed to, dominate tornadoes. They just don't budge in the face of nature's fury. I'm not sure if we could build one ourselves. Even if we had the money and resources, it could pose legal issues. Reed Timmer might sue us for it. Maybe he wouldn't, but he probably could. Yeah, exactly. It'd be like Jonas from Twister. He stole Bill's design for Dorothy. Of course, we could just do the right thing and ask Reed himself, if we could find him. I don't think we'll end up going through with this idea. It just sounds impractical. It takes time, money, resources, and we don't even know where Reed is at any given time. Just forget about it. We'll make do with our truck. It at least has anchoring and extra weight on the chassis. And if push comes to shove, we can just rent a Dominator. Wouldn't be the first time we've done it. You can thank Sam for that. This coffee really perked me up. It's just what I needed. Well, I'm out of stuff to talk about for now. Wanna head home? Yeah, it's not like we have anything better to do. Let's go. Finally. Home sweet Oklahoma. It's about time we return to normalcy. So, what do you want to do for the rest of the day? I don't have any plans. I'm just kinda waiting for tomorrow. Oh, you want to watch some tornado documentaries with me? That sounds fun. People on YouTube go into way more detail about major historical tornadoes than I do. How about we start with Rolling Fork, Mississippi? This is actually a fairly recent tornado. It happened on March 24th, 2023. It was an EF4 and is considered the deadliest tornado of that year. It was actually a candidate for an EF5 rating, but didn't quite reach the requirements. Crazy to think it almost ended the drought. Then again, Diaz, Arkansas from this year probably should have ended the drought. If the wind speed was at least 200 miles per hour, I think it might have had a chance. Greenfield, Iowa from last year broke the wind speed record that Bridge Creek set back in 1999, and it was also only an EF4. The enhanced Fujita scale is just weird like that. Anyway, let's unpack and settle in. Assuming luck is on our side, we could have one hell of a storm chase on our hands tomorrow. We'll use today as a means of unwinding. It's great to be back. Is this girl ever gonna get over the El Reno tornado? Like, this is like me being mad that I couldn't be at DashCon 2. Like, girl, get over it.